This princess would soon lose her head, but she didn't seek sympathy from anyone. She used to live a life of utter luxury. A single meal could cost more than a commoner earned in a month. If one of her servants displeased her in the slightest, she would beat them or fire them on the spot. When a great famine struck the land, countless people starved to death in the streets. Yet the princess simply laughed at their misery. Why don't they just eat meat if they have no bread? She taunted them as she continued to live in luxury. The starving people finally had enough. Instigated by a neighboring kingdom, they rose in revolt. The entire land was in ruins. The princess herself was thrown into a dark, dank dungeon. She lived there for 3 years like an animal. During that time, she never bathed once. She ate only rotting vegetables and moldy bread. The guards continually mocked and humiliated her. After 3 years of suffering, she was finally dragged to the gallows. It was a bitterly cold day, but a large crowd gathered anyway. Everyone wanted to witness the death of the princess they hated. They called her spoiled and wicked. They shouted for the knife to be dropped. Her feet were bare and frozen red, but she walked slowly, trying to delay the inevitable. She didn't resist when her head was placed on the block. The knife fell. Her blood splattered onto the diary she had been writing in for 8 years. But that wasn't the end of it. Time suddenly turned backward. The princess woke up with a start in her bed. She had been sent back 8 years into the past. She thought it was just a nightmare, but her blood-stained diary proved it was all real. During her imprisonment, she had written in it every day. After 3 years of eating rotten prison food, now even a tomato, which she once hated so much, could make her cry with joy. This frightened the head cook, who thought her cooking was terrible. But the princess simply said, "Thank you, chef. Thank you for this wonderful meal." Quote, the servants were shocked by her strange behavior. Was this really their once spoiled and stubborn daughter? Then something even more shocking happened. A servant named Anna slipped while carrying a cake. She fell right on top of it, destroying it completely. The former princess would have screamed in anger and punished Anna cruelly. But this time the princess didn't punish her at all. Instead, she asked if Anna was hurt and even promoted her to her personal maid. Why? Because during her 3 years in prison, no one came to see her except Anna. In her free time, Anna secretly cared for the princess. On the day of her execution, it was Anna who braided her hair. In those 3 years of suffering, Anna was her only comfort. Now that she was a princess again, she was determined to repay Anna's kindness. To understand the people's suffering, she had Anna buy food for the common people. She needed to see how her people truly lived. She would never ask that foolish question again. If there was no bread, why not just eat meat? According to her diary, she would lose her head 8 years later. To avoid that terrible fate, she decided to change everything. But changing fate wasn't easy, so she sought out the only person who could save the empire. In her previous life, there was a bespectacled young man who fought hard to save the kingdom from collapse. He failed only because no one would listen. This time the princess would make sure his voice was heard. Most importantly, despite his previous mistreatment of her, the young man was one of the few people who continued to visit her in prison. Seeing her plight, he even cried for her. Someone like Anna was someone she could trust. It makes you think, doesn't it? Sometimes we only understand the meaning of true happiness after experiencing deep despair. So if you look back on your own life, have your arrogance or stubbornness ever caused you to lose something precious?